You're probably wondering, what's the best experience in the NFL? You've seen Bills Mafia, the terrible towels waving to renegades, and the deafening sound of the 12th man. Well, lucky for you, I consider myself an NFL experience expert. Last season, I went to every Monday Night Football game. I've been to the last 5 Super Bowls, and this year, we decided to go to every Thursday Night Football game. After going to 15 cities in 17 weeks, I've compiled the most indisputable rankings to answer the question, what's the best experience in the NFL? Enter my tier list. I'm warning you now, some of my ratings may upset some of you. Now, let's go to Kansas City for week 1. In week 1, the reigning Super Bowl champs were hosting a team that hasn't been good in over 3 decades. The Chiefs unveiled their championship banner, setting Arrowhead into a frenzy. Between the chop and Patrick Mahomes' magic potentially happening on any play, this is the loudest set of fans in football.
Can't even hear Jack next.
The food at the stadium was unreal and had our top-rated item of the entire season.
8-2, no ice cream. 8-9 with the ice cream. This is sick.
The Lions walked out of Kansas City with a win, and I walked out confident that a Chiefs game is an A-tier experience. So why isn't KC in the bucket list tier? Because we don't just give top-tier ratings to anyone, and KC leaves a lot to be desired as a city, even if Joe's Barbecue is the best I've ever had. To the city of brotherly love, or rather what it should be named, the city of scum.
What about me? Oh, you go yourself and your fat.
Fine, we'll call them passionate fans for now. And that's what they are, the best fans in football. As long as you're on their good side. Philly spares no prisoner. Don't show up as an opposing fan. And don't show up if you're not going to play your best ball. Our Philly experience was elevated because we got to host a tailgate with 100 of our own fans. Cheesesteaks and Go Birds chants gets anyone ready to head into the link. But once inside, you'll want to stay locked into the game. The stadium's nothing special, the food's really bad, and I wouldn't bring anyone under the age of 21. Philly needs an asterisk, but they do land in my A tier. 6 hours to San Fran, and then greeted with an hour drive down to Santa Clara, you'd be shocked at how worth it this all-day trip is. And newsflash, it's not Buffalo with the best tailgating in football. It's the San Francisco 49ers. I got free tacos and tequila for beating this fan in trivia, but the night only got better, heading into the most beautiful outdoor stadium in the NFL. Levi's has great food options and an elite football team, but I'm not gonna lie, the fans were a bit disappointing this night.
This is not that loud, and not even everyone is standing. It got loud. Eagles, Chiefs, every single person was on their feet.
I'm not sure I can blame them though. Brock Purdy had already thrown 2 touchdowns, and they were curb stomping the lowly Giants. The NFC Championship could possibly be the best game to go to this NFL season. Put San Fran on your bucket list, because they're easily on mine. Heading into week 4, the good times kept rolling as we arrived in Green Bay, the mecca of all football experiences. Before the game, you have Titletown, Kroll's, and tailgates in people's backyards.
Hey, we're gonna kick their ass!
Let's go!
Let's go! Yeah!
And this time around, we were living the sweet life thanks to our guy Sam. But when I tell you there's no bad experience in Lambeau, I mean it. Last season on our Monday Night Football journey, we had field passes, sat in the bleachers, and got snowed on in a Packers win. And this year, in 60-degree weather, up in the suite, watching the Packers get blown out by David Montgomery and the Lions. When you go to Lambeau Field, you can feel the history, tradition, and love for their Packers.
Let's go, Pack, go!
You can taste the cheese curds and spotted cow. Seriously, we tasted it. It was delicious. Justin Fields said,
"There's not much to do in Green Bay except watch football."
And while he may be right, that's exactly why a Packers game lands in the bucket list tier. If you love football, you have to make it to Lambeau in your lifetime. So after 4 weeks, we have 2 bucket lists and 2 A tiers, yet everyone tells me about this Thursday Night Football curse. Well, let's welcome Washington to the party. Did you think you were headed to the nation's capital? Wrong. Did you think you were going to see a competent football team? Wrong. Did you think you were going to have some edible food? Actually, the Commanders had the best stadium food amongst our entire travels. Between these crab egg rolls and part of my cheesesteak, it's clear that new ownership is already making an impact off the field.
What's your one message to Dan Snyder if he's watching this now?
But outside of the food, there was no one tailgating, and they got shellacked from start to finish by Justin Fields and DJ Moore. The Commanders land in my if you got free tickets you should probably go tier, but shout out the Manders for hooking us up with field passes and a nice custom jersey.
1,000 likes on the video. Next time I'm on the field, I'll steal a pylon.
Before we head back to Kansas City, we've traveled 9,366 miles and spent over $12,000 just to have only 1,000 subscribers on the channel. So please hit that subscribe button so we can keep going to the coolest sporting events in the world. I already put Casey in my A tier, but when we went back, it was after Travis and Taylor had started to date. There was a ton of hoopla around the game given that she would be there. And we even tried the same chicken fingers that she famously had.
If they're fit for a queen, are they fit for me? You need to be one of the Billboard's top artists to afford these. $25 for just 3 tenders.
Even with Taylor in attendance, this experience is not moving up to bucket list. Sorry, Swifties. Down to the bayou we go, spending an extra day in NOLA so we could experience the food and culture of the city, plus spend some time on Bourbon Street. The Superdome does not have tailgating, which might sound weird to you, but they actually have the coolest pregame experience. They have a massive open courtyard stocked with bars and live music. Then you head into the iconic Superdome, which after the renovations is easy to navigate. The environment is top notch, the entertainment as well, and the food, like this alligator hot dog, was super unique. My only note for NOLA is that after going to the game last year and sitting up top versus sitting down below this season, if you got a few extra bucks in your budget, it does make quite the difference, and I would suggest sitting down below. It's a shame Foster Moreau dropped this touchdown, otherwise we would have been able to see a home Saints playoff game this season.
Oh my God, he dropped the tug.
It's too bad because a Saints game is in the bucket list tier, and I can only imagine what it's like for a playoff game. Going from NOLA to Buffalo is quite the culture shock. The people in Buffalo are diehard, and the passion is there, but you're essentially in a suburb of upstate New York. While we didn't jump through any tables, the Hammerlot was a sight to see. But my hot take is that it's just a bit overrated. On top of that, the food was miserable.
Oh no. Do not get this. A .01 fry.
And getting out of Orchard Park is quite literally my biggest nightmare. With NOLA as the pleasant surprise of the season, Buffalo unfortunately was the biggest disappointment. Welcome to the Kirk Cousins tier. Oh, Pittsburgh, where do we begin? Permanente Bros, you're proud of this food?
Got the Pittsburgher. Horse meat, it's not that bad. We got an untoasted bun. We got soggy fries.
I understand it's blue collar, but that doesn't mean it just has to suck. The food stinks, the stadium's a concrete ice pit, and Renegade wouldn't even wake up my grandmother. You're probably thinking, he's a Ravens fan, he's a hater. You're right, I hate the Steelers, but I won't let bias get in the way of my tears. Welcome to hell, Pittsburgh. You're the first entrant into the wouldn't even go if you paid me tier. From Titans Steelers to Panthers Bears, it seemed like we had hit the metaphorical football wall. Soldier Field is old. The food is absolutely terrible.
Oh my God.
The traffic rivals Los Angeles. Even the tailgating scene was kind of weak. But there's just something about the Bears. The fan base is obsessive. They won't quit. They suck you in and give you the best night of your life.
What do you mean by that?
For all those earlier factors, it's tough to put Chicago high up on my list, but on atmosphere alone and that loving fan base, you'll be smiling ear to ear if you watch a game in Chicago. Kirk Cousins tier for the Bears. It was finally time to head home to Baltimore, and it was a big game for a multitude of reasons. Blackout at the bank, Burrow versus Lamar for the AFC North, and most importantly, we put on a 300-person tailgate for the fans of our podcast that I do with Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey. The tailgate was a smashing success, and our boy Gordon 112 Rugs, who gave Lamar this custom rug,
Want that down carpet?
also made us some custom rug for our Punchline studio. Now, there aren't many atmospheres that rival a night game in Baltimore, which Mahomes himself can attest to.
The only time I've been silent is in Baltimore and in Seattle, where I've had to, under center, kind of have to go verbal.
And the Ravens flock showed out, causing Joe Burrow to take 2 timeouts in the first quarter. Unfortunately, Burrow got injured early in this game, and the Ravens walked to an easy dub. For me, any Ravens game is a bucket list, but as a non-biased expert, I will put it in the A tier. But I will say, a Ravens night game, it does teeter between bucket list and A tier. The holiday season had arrived, filled with football, family, and giving thanks. But there was absolutely nothing to give thanks to when it came to this Black Friday edition of Thursday Night Football in New York. Or should I say New Jersey? MetLife is such an ugly looking stadium. It was freezing cold. The food is beyond mid, and Tim Boyle was the starting quarterback for the Jets. The only good thing that happened was I got a Black Friday deal on this Jets beanie from $10 down to $9.
$5?
No,
$5?
no, $10.
What about $9? $9.
No, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
$9. Okay, deal. Black Friday special.
The game was awful, and we left early. But the Jets throwing a Hail Mary that got returned for a 99-yard touchdown pretty much summed up their season. A Jets game is our second entry into the I wouldn't even go if you paid me tier. This is coming from someone who lives less than 10 miles from MetLife Stadium. A huge bounce back in our journey was heading down to stunning Jerry World in Dallas, Texas. And like they say, they do everything bigger in Texas, including this cowboy hat I got from the gift shop. A massive shout out to the Cowboys who hooked us up for this game, getting us exclusive access with pregame and postgame field passes. Pregame, I said what's up to KJ Wright, and Casey got to touch Stephon Gilmore.
He touched me, touch me, touch me.
No, we gotta review the film. I don't know.
Then they brought out the Bobby Filet of the Cowboys, who provided us the full spread of everything the Cowboys have to offer, including Cheeto-dusted popcorn, which is insanely good. This also happened to be the best game of the entire season, with 76 points, DK Metcalf standing on business in sign language, and Jake Ferguson virtually ending Jamal Adams' career. The cherry on top was when we hit the field post-game, living out our childhood dream, doing everything from long throw competitions, a 40-yard dash, and fades in the back of the end zone. If you want to catch our Dallas Cowboys video, hit this in the corner right here. Dallas slots in at an A, about as close as you could get without being a bucket list, and here's why. AT&T Stadium is a bit tough to navigate. The fans are also so entitled, thinking what they won in the 90s means they can be loudmouths in the 2020s. You can go on a tour of Jerry World on a non-game day, and that would honestly push it to bucket list. But for now, they're stuck in the A tier, the same way the Cowboys have been stuck for the last 30 years. Our second repeat of the journey came in Pittsburgh, and as you can see on our tier list, we were not thrilled about having to return. But this time, the Steelers did come through for us.
Get money. Here's to that.
They also hooked us up with club level seats, which had some better food than Permanente Bros. Pittsburgh is by no means bucket list, but after revisiting, we will move it up a tier. Vegas, baby. We headed to Sin City to watch Aiden O'Connell and Easton Stick battle it out. We'll be back in February, so make sure you smash that subscribe button so you don't miss our Super Bowl experience video. I copped a Max Crosby jersey for the vibes and checked out the beautiful Allegiant Stadium. And boy, did this game outlive expectations. 84 freaking points, a big boy touchdown, and literally one of the best plays of the entire season.
Second down and 13. Oh, baby. Unbelievable. Jack Jones.
Now, Vegas can either be the best weekend of your life or the worst weekend of your life, and that has nothing to do with the game itself. So for that reason, it goes into the Kirk Cousins tier. But this experience certainly has the most variance depending on how you fare at the casino. Our final Snapback Thursday of the season showed us that LA is amazing, but not quite a football town. SoFi Stadium is stunning, but it's impossible to navigate. Also, the Rams pump in all the sound you hear, and we are just surrounded by Saints fans. There's nothing super special about the Rams experience, and for that reason, it goes into the got free tickets to the game, might as well go tier. The final week of Thursday Night Football was set to be in Cleveland. Unfortunately, we ran into some family complications, so we couldn't make it out. Thankfully, though, I am very well versed in Cleveland sports. I've been there for a Cavs playoff game, NBA All-Star Weekend, and a Browns game last season. One thing I'll say, Cleveland as a city is a wildly underrated experience. And as far as football, there's nothing underrated here. Hit the Muni lot for some solid tailgating and wild costumes. Then once you head inside, there is surprisingly tasty food and some very passionate fans. My only two cautions are to be prepared to have some grown men barking at you, and you should probably dress warm because it's on the water and can get very chilly. Cleveland finishes off our list in the Kirk Cousins tier. After 17 long weeks of travel and fun, we have completed the journey of a lifetime. going to every Thursday night football game. It took us a total of $45,798 and 22,623 miles traveled across the country using planes, cars, and trains. And it's only right that out of the bucket list tier, we're gonna give a gold, silver, and bronze medal. So when the 2024 schedule comes out, you know what to circle on your calendar. In third, receiving their bronze medal is the New Orleans Saints. In second, receiving the silver medal is the San Francisco 49ers. And therefore, the best experience, the gold medal experience in the NFL is the Green Bay Packers. At the end of the day, it's all subjective, and we're just lucky that we get to do this for a living. Going to games is about watching the sport we love, surrounded by the people we love. So if you've enjoyed this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. What cool sports experience do you want us to hit next?